Welcome to South George. Team Pittsburgh Knights as well as Team Liquid have a 700-point lead-ish currently over number 4. Right now, those three are looking to go to Berlin and they need to secure themselves, but a threat is looming in the shadows as FaZe is trying to build momentum throughout the day, and sure enough, they have been doing it in those first 2 games. Can they continue the pace? And momentum is what we want to see here today for day number 3 of the EU PGI qualifier. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we are at the desk. You're smiling at me. I'm not sure why. Something happened.
Oh no, it's a threat lurks in the shadows. It's like It Follows, right? Like FaZe is legitimately this boogeyman that's chasing these top 3 teams.
That's what's happening.
And it's terrifying because their kill counts are insane.
Yep.
First place, third place. So you know those 3 teams, they came in today and were like, well, FaZe is always a threat. And now they're like, FaZe is always a threat. So
Help.
they have to be free. Yes, exactly.
Panic.
Like genuinely, they can hear the guy behind them and they're terrified.
Yeah, I mean, admittedly, they have to be, considering what we've seen so far. Oh, by the way, though, you know, we got to hear from all the teams, you know, who's the worst driver. Who do you guys think's the worst driver in the game?
Frost.
Oh, all right then. Oh, nice.
No,
Thanks.
hands down.
That was a very concise answer there for a moment. I do appreciate that. Anyway, regardless, so moving on, you'd have in that position there, FaZe number 4 right now. I think Method and Team Blanca still kind of clawing at those positions, trying to get themselves in a better spot. But Method didn't have the best of games in the prior one, of course. They lost themselves Andy early. They lost the Groza. They lost the 3-3-3, which does have knock-on effects for them to try and kind of solidify themselves later on. Fair?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
I think, yeah, also for just losing him as well, but also then he's going to go from just being in a fragger in the front. They're going to need that front position. They're going to need the scouting. They put them in a very rough spot as well, just between FaZe and Rogue, and they just put him down. Also, they had Isako Bors on the back. They got the Isako Bors knocked one of them, and then FaZe just come down, swept all of them out.
Honestly, Isako Bors have been pretty impressive for me. Like, they're not winning, but they're putting up good fights. They're getting knocks on some of the best teams. Like, that's it, too, is they're not getting kills on bad teams. They're, like, knocking and ruining the hopes of some of the best teams in the game. And actually, they've moved all the way up in total kills to 7. So they're at 46 right now, and they were very slow on day 1. They were avoiding fights day 1. So they've really only been coming full steam for 2 days, and they're already moved up to 7 on the kill count.
And our top 5 or 6 here are the top 5 and 6 in the rankings. So not only have they been vying for good position, but they've also been vying for a lot of kills as well. Welcome to South George hasn't really deviated too much from their initial plan. I mean, of course, they got themselves good circles there. They were able to sit in their compounds, but they still racked up some kills. 89 kills to their name. It's certainly a big difference maker as they, I think, sit at first place right now. Is that correct?
They they sit at first place now, and they had the most kills before. They keep on racking up the kills. They got 14 kills in 2 games. That's 7 average. Beautiful. They need to be consistent. It's looking very good for them. And again, welcome to South George. They welcomed everybody to South George and make sure that they denied that.
It's just funny to me. So in the last game, they got the win with 9 kills.
Yeah.
And like 9 kills traditionally, that's a pretty good kill count for a finish.
Yeah.
But the fact that like 14, 11, 13, like these are the counts that we're starting to see stack up behind them is kind of crazy to me. And a signal for where we're going with the next 3 games is the more desperate it gets for these teams who are in 4th, 5th, and 6th place, the higher those counts are going to go, because you see it. Teams like Liquid, they're not getting as many kills. So if you stack those kills and they're still struggling to sort of keep up, that's maybe where you get your pass.
Especially when they changed their playstyle in the previous game, which did come back to hurt them a little bit there. But overall, it feels like that when now the pressure is on here for some of these teams. Some of the teams aren't dealing with it perhaps as well as they should be. Some teams are dealing with it very well. Pressure is the thing that builds up behind a bullet inside of a gun, and they're using that to effectiveness when it comes to racking up those kills. So we're seeing more domination here from some of our top teams in these games compared to kind of like wishy-washy, you know, a few kills here, a few kills there.
That's a pretty good metaphor. I mean, that's a pretty good metaphor, right? Like Friday is the day that they load, the Saturday is the day they lock, and then literally Sunday is the day they explode. And that's, I mean, Matt said it, FaZe Sunday is not a new concept, and these guys are coming out of the barrel firing.
Average kills here with Welcome to South George sitting at the top. No surprises considering that they've been getting themselves the kills. Distribution for FaZe Clan, though, looking exactly the same as Team Liquid. You know, again, some of these rounds for them haven't been the easiest, well, for the last one, of course, for today. But FaZe is coming out swinging. And, you know, we keep harking on about these top teams, but this is really where the movers and shakers are going to be here throughout this day. This is where we're paying a lot of attention to here to see who can get to Berlin, and that is all important.
Yeah, so, I mean, that is the number one thing. I mean, yes, getting some extra cash is great, but at the end of the day, getting to Berlin is way more than a little extra cash and a lot of prestige. I mean, we're going into a new season. There haven't been a ton of tournaments announced. We don't know what's on the horizon for these teams, and the pedigree of having played at Berlin means that you are the first selection, the first invite, the first option for anything that happens in the coming year, and that is very important for these teams.
Yeah, and speaking to what you mentioned just before in terms of like the money that is on the line here for this tournament, a lot of these teams that are lower than, say, 6th, for example, are still looking to get good positions for themselves, still looking to rack up the kills, still looking for position overall, Avenger, and we're going to see a lot of these teams potentially play spoiler to these other big teams, so that it's not affecting their game as much, but it's having huge knock-on effects for these rest of the teams in the tournament.
It's having huge effect throughout the whole European scene, because going forward, this event could be the ground base or the base for seedings in the future in the European invites for new events, new leagues and everything.
Yeah.
How did it do at the EU PGI qualifiers? It's going to be so important going forward.
And this is one of the hardest regions. I think it is the hardest region in the world.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
In terms of qualification as well as general team balance. And that means that when there are things like DreamHack, we just got back from that. Only a few teams from EU got invited to that event or got a chance to go to that event through the qualification process. So that means now's a good time to sort of earn your way in. If we see invitationals in the future, being in the top 6 has a huge impact, especially, and like I said it before, and I will say it again, if you are an action-based team, if you're a team that brings a lot of fun, a lot of fighting, a lot of frags, you're a team that people want to see play, and that is a good thing. So teams like Boars, who are playing very aggressively right now, that could bode well for them in the future.
I've bestowed the Kylaris blessing on this game. It's going to be a E-Circle. There you go. Done it. Short thoughts. What do you want from this game?
I just want to see FaZe Clan breaking up another chicken dinner.
I want another Georgia Pulse circle just to make sure that yours comes true. I'm going to say, give me that.
Well, we'll try. Let's get over to the commentators here. We've swapped them out. And wait a minute, what are you guys doing over there?
I've had a busy morning. I bought some props, and as said, welcome to South George. We're going to be watching these guys. They're very excited to be here, of course, as well. Arms in the air. Knights. Other team, very excited for also into this. You can put Liquid and FaZe on. I know you know where they go. You can work it out. We've got this amazing map. Why not play with it? But yeah. And from the north, we have a strong breeze from the northern side. Hopefully that doesn't actually mean anything for the game. But we are getting ourselves ready for this one. And thank you so much to the desk. And I mean, we were very busy with props this morning.
This took a lot of time to make, by the way.
All right, let's get a little serious now then, because fun and games are done, because it is Championship Sunday. And what that means, very simply, is top 3 go to Berlin. There's no two ways about it. You slip up one game, it's over. We're seeing Liquid looking a little less fluid than they did in the last couple of days. Not quite solidifying what they built. The likes of FaZe are hot on their heels, and many others are very much chomping at the bit here, Rich. And we've seen a similar line to this before, a little bit more of a northern start to it, but beyond that, very similar, kind of from just kind of, I guess, slap bang Middle West to Southeast.
Yep, lots of work to do, as the desk did mention. Okay, FaZe, they're playing out of the mind right now. They've had some very, very good start to Championship Sunday, but the teams at the top, they're still doing pretty well. WTSG, that's currently the boys with the target printed on their back, because at the moment they are doing absolutely fantastic. Wins and kills galore. And, you know, the bigger picture is, as much as FaZe can keep doing the thing, they can keep getting these top placements, they need the higher teams to fail. They need the bigger teams to drop. I mean, we just saw it the previous one, was it 17th or 18th for Team Liquid? That helps everyone else out at the top. But that's their lowest placement so far. All right, you can have a cock up here and there. I mean, you look at how many points they've got in the bag. They've done so much work coming into this. A mistake like that, you can afford to have. Knights again, another team that's been playing fantastic. And Kylaris, you have blessed this game, my ginger northern friend. We have an Eastern and potential FaZe circle finally.
We haven't had many of these. Very real talk, not many. Oh, Chris,
they've been trying all weekend, so he deserves one of these kills. At least Method do, anyway. Bigger picture of Method. Rough Sunday so far. Not looking great, and they're one of the teams that were kind of in the running for top 3, but have dropped out dramatically. Yeah, they really have. They've kind of let the foot off the gas here. We've already seen that it's very possible for teams to turn up a little later in the day, but with everyone coming in so hot, they've kind of fallen off a touch. It's a bit of a shame to see. They have been a little bit quieter and lost out early games. Same can be said for the likes of Liquid.
They have not had the beginnings or games that they had in the previous couple of days. If you haven't been watching, they'd been really hot into the tournament. But this is also a good circle for them, bear in mind. It means they don't have to be worried about that looting phase that seems to be kind of always in a rush. We saw in the first couple of games, Scream didn't have a scope. I mean, there's been a couple of times where they haven't had that premium loot that really sets you up well. So hopefully in this one, if you want to see Liquid do well, they can maybe get a little bit more loot going. Keep eyes on Wizards. And in these sorts of games, this is where you're going to start seeing teams maybe pressuring the big guys, trying to find that opening room to maybe create more space when it comes to down the line. Because you know who you're up against, you know where people drop by now. People have done their research and their homework over the last couple of days.
Well, let's just kind of remind ourselves about the top 4 currently. WTSG, that's the old Kingwin roster, 4-4-2-0. The Pittsburgh Knights, they're on 4-2-30, which is very, very close, with a couple of 100 points below them and only 20 away. It is, excuse me, I've kind of made a mistake there, aren't I? So it was Knights, and then below them...
So, Liquid, South George,
Liquid,
Knights,
yep.
Liquid, FaZe.
4-2-10, but 3-5-8-0 for FaZe. I mean, it's within 700 points. It's definitely within reaching distance, but the other guys at the top have to do bad.
Yeah, there's the win conditions now for the likes of FaZe and anyone below that top 3 currently. Is not only do you need good finishes within top 2, 3, you need the other teams to not be there, and you need kills. It can't just be those passive push to end game. One, that doesn't really work in this meta anymore. People are very good at finding you. There's not much free room there to try and just sneak your way in, especially as a full 4. So for me, it is going to have to be a very uphill struggle. We saw in the last 2 games that FaZe are more than capable of doing so, as are other teams now. They've started to push a little forward. Still, Blank have potential to be a real nuisance to some of these other players as well. Liquid have slipped from 1st, that we saw for the first couple of days, to 3rd. So again, that does create that little avenue of approach. But beyond that, we are seeing the teams just kind of preparing themselves. Copenhagen Flames have had a real rough time. Yep,
they've not had the best of weekends so far. Rafi's already just waiting in the wind, hoping someone comes his way. I'm hoping he's waiting anyway and he's not tabbed out of the game. That'd be rather unlucky if so. But nevertheless, yeah, you speak of this bigger picture. It's still anyone's kind of game. Any given Sunday, you like to say it, you like to see it, to be honest. Good amount of space here for teams to be able to do whatever they like. Liquid, they don't really have to move, but a team like Liquid, you expect them to go rather early. FaZe, for now, they can chill, they can get geared out of the mine, completely take over the entirety of that middle to corner through power, mini power, all the way down to the bottom where Gemty's going to be lingering around. Couple of early little engagements we might see here, there, and everywhere. Currently, we got Singularity looking towards one, and you kind of spoke. Oh, so Rafi is there. He knows exactly where this one player is. But
look at him sneaking his way forward.
He spoke about these individual little teams that are a little bit further down the board. Yeah. It's the story of this weekend, right? They're playing spoiler to the bigger ones. In the previous rounds, we've seen it where a team just come out of nowhere. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. They'll just ruin everybody's fun. That's the kind of game that Avanga have liked to play in the past, where they'll just went, okay, we hear shots now, let's get involved, boys, and mop these, mop all these up while they're mid-fight.
Yeah, this has been a pick, the first kill to be drawn here, and we are seeing that pick up as well over towards Ruins. That was on top of the church there. So Singularity drawing blood very early on as well. These are the smaller teams, very scrappy in approach so far. Not afraid to take a fight.
No, waiting for him and chilling for a while. Like you say, it's not the ideal scenario, but still, waiting in the wind, get some better position if you really need to crawl down that way. Andy Pyro once again on the move. There is a crit right next to him. It's not been taken. You can tell that by the 2 white stripes that are still currently on the crit. We do see from Method, they've got a bit of work to do to get through there. There'll be lots of people on transfer now in rotation. Crate is there with an MK14. Beautiful little weapon. Didn't quite catch him out of scope. We'll see. Andy's still moving around. He did have a scope. Thank you very much, observers. So the 8 times on there, guys. And Andy will find that. We'll see if that gets transferred into the hands of Chris. Which, generally speaking, he seems to be this team's sniper. James captures Fever, but he's got a vehicle getting out there, all tanked to that point. Extended HP, Liquid moving out of Yasnaya. Even though they are safe, it's still nice to see Liquid moving and getting further afield. Yaxi down and out. Big fragger for WTSG going out early.
Yeah, they're currently the leading pack. So losing out on an initial player, very, very awkward for them and uncomfortable. That's not what you want to be seeing. If you thought they were going to make it through this in a comfortable manner, being down to 3 early, it's not the end of the world, but it loses you maybe that potential to deny flanks or control situations when you get late game. So again, not ideal here for them, and that could be, when you see that on the kill feed and you're one of those teams sitting from, let's say, 3rd all the way down, you start thinking, okay, potential room.
I'm happy here.
Yeah. And the fun part is, if you go real deep into this meta, teams know where other teams have preference to go towards.
100%.
You see two teams fighting, you work out, okay, they're probably in this location. You can start kind of mentally checking off rotation routes. Now that is very deep into meta and very hard to keep track of while doing everything else, but these teams are extremely good at that.
I mean, it's the name of the game, right? You want to be a professional player at this level. Hit it. Andy with his M24. So that means the 20, excuse me, that actually means the 24 and an M2 in the hands
It's big.
of Method. We keep seeing him getting all these big weapons, the level 3s, the helmets, the chests. They've yet to do it. Yesterday we saw them with 3
Oh, this is really
crates.
big. Robin's got a lovely line on that. I feel that's going to have been a kill, but it'll be a tag. Dave gives it a go. There we go.
Flying.
Fight. And that's on a blank as well. Another team within that kind of top 5, top 6 situation. Big kills coming in early, losing out on players on rotations. This gets scary.
Okay, so let's talk about who's yet to make their way to the circle. Elegantic up at the top. We've still got Alliance. They're actually in the right next to where WTS initially been dropping down. Mikas in the kill
the bridge
feed.
trolls. Look at this.
It's lovely. The DP's a banging weapon.
You can't underestimate it. It is a beautiful thing to play with.
I can't believe it actually got.
But is he going to
damaged, to be
overstep?
honest.
Look at the background. You can see the player there, and he's so tunnel vision on trying to get that kill. He doesn't expect the Singularity player tapping away. Oh, he can't get to cover. He gets found out, gets caught being a little too greedy to try and rack up those points.
3 times on the 16. And again, it's just a 3-way. One in the middle, one on the back. Unfortunately, it's just kind of everyone picking at each other again. Third-party system. Can't lay on your laurels whatsoever. That would have been a belter of a shot if he'd have nailed it. With these 3 times all over the place, okay, it's not the greatest scope in the game. It's certainly better than a 2, but it gives you enough range to kind of play with because they're so easily to be found. Meanwhile,
Oh god, this fight. Now we know that FaZe
The
likes to
Giants
go
are
to
here.
that side of the hill as well on these circles. That's not uncommon. We saw it on the last 2 days as well, that if it does go towards this side, they will play it. Liquid are there before them.
they're all over the, they're on the rock side, aren't they?
This is the side that FaZe have been and will go to. Singularity, though, still confirming kills.
The thing is, for both of these teams, the dead center in the circle, or at least damn near it, should you say.
Yeah.
You'd expect it kind of putting your money on and banking on where it's going to go next. That they're all going to be safe. No matter where this circle shifts, they'll be still in it so they can chill. I'm seeing range, though. You got Fuzz at the back there, that SKS, that 8 times, there's a mini as well, so I'd expect his partner in crime to also have some kind of line of sight. L falls on back where Liquid are. I mean, they've gone early. They could have stayed in Yaz, but they decided, you know what, boys, let's get it. And that's kind of the story, Liquid, the amount of times we've looked towards them. And the circle's been like 5 seconds away from crushing in. They're already in vehicles. They're ready to go. They read the circles so damn well, and they're prepared to take them. So far, today, not the best. But, again, with how they've played so far this weekend, they give themselves room for error.
Now, Alliance could be predicted near Singularity already moving into this game with a couple of kills to be on the scoreboard, but they're going to try and adjust the route. The 3 times is very good at this, well controlled. But I do want to say something about Method there as well. Actually, Alliance getting out of the cars and fighting back. You can see as to why. 2 tapping him down as T-Bone to claim the kill there and the knock to follow, of course. But beyond that, I want to talk about Method's positioning when we get back to that in just a moment's time. I can imagine we do have the MK14 up and the 3s to complement. But I like that. So essentially the way Method were positioned, then it's holding the weak spot to that compound. It's a big blind sort of position, that hill that is off the back of it. So they've gone for the 2-2 split, holding big amounts of ground. And this is good play from them. This is very insightful play from them. And I think this will hold them well instead, and unless, obviously, one of the 2 gets isolated and they can't support each other. But I like that approach from them.
See how players going further afield. At the moment, it's a bit of a chiller. Everyone just kind of testing the water, so to speak, even though, well, we've got about 40% water in, but with a corner of an island like this, you'd expect it to go straight inland and give themselves more land to play with. Erangel, it can be a bit topsy-turvy from time to time, but then again, you've got to learn how to deal with these, right? And that's why these teams are at the top. No matter what the circle is, you kind of say, oh, well, we ain't got given a circle. It's, I'm sorry, but you've got to learn to deal with it. We'll see how FaZe kind of phase, so to speak, in this one, because now finally they do have a circle. Look at this straight away.
That's
They're
quick.
pulling the Liquid. They're saying, right, all right, boys, time to move. Circle shifted back towards.
Wow.
It's gone down south, more towards Milter Power. Milter Power's still in. Mini Milter, Town Milter. This could be potentially the Lumber Mill fight, depending on where it goes next.
It's a scary boy, that one.
It's so messy coming down from there. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Line of sight is
it's nasty.
big. As much as you want to look at the map and try and work out who's got positional favor, you need to just look at the terrain. It's very, very tough going forward, as you can beautifully see here. So much verticality to it, so many lines of sight that are denied by small little dips and defilades in the hillside that teams will be looking at. And look at this migration blank kind of boxing in Copenhagen Flames. But they will back away and split off in their own rotation routes. Now, I think one member of FaZe was left back here towards the north, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this is getting very busy, and it's actually Knight currently sitting in second place, already getting kills towards Rogue, but Yannick's going to be trying to get back into this, trying to support his team, but he's only got a level 1. He can't poke and prod too much. You've got to be careful, but FaZe already getting on the kill feed here. Singularity going to the wrong place at the wrong time. You do not want to go near them, and they're finding out the hard way. I'm pretty sure that's all 4 potentially gone down.
Definitely. It must be about 3 now. Andy steps in,
One
still 20
left.
to, yeah, must be only 1. In fact, it is Ronnie's POV, Trash Dove. They've got 3 kills in the bag, but a 20th position might just seal their fate here in not being able to qualify. They probably already can't qualify, but it's not over until it's over.
They're pushing him as well. Free firing on the corner, smart, but not that good. The double? Trash Dove! Oh my god, he might have just destroyed FaZe. He could be the spoiler to so much of this. He's out of bullets on the reload. You know he's pumped up. He's getting a little nervous. He makes the mistake, but he does draw blood. And FaZe are down 2. What heartbreak for them.
Oh my god. That's all kinds of bad. They were pre-firing on the corner, but he was laid down. So they were looking for the body, or at least the headshot somewhere around the chest. But he was laid down in the grass. He got them on the corner peaks. He was pre-firing and ready to... No. You can't... No.
Liquid Knight, South George. These guys now are smiling. They know that...
That's heartbreaking.
That's FaZe tempered for a little bit here. They still have, I think, what, 2 live? But I think they were split. I think one of the FaZe members was elsewhere.
I think they've now gone back together. I can just see them on the map. GMT and
They need to
Hexette.
be.
They're very slightly split apart, but they are in a compound apiece. But again, it comes down to what they've actually got. To be taken out in a 2 versus 1 scenario, that's not a championship Sunday play. That's a balls up. That's a complete mess.
Absolutely. Now let's keep eyes on this team because they're one of the teams to lose out on their players early on, and they're sitting first overall. Keep in mind, leading the fray. Grow up working their way across bridge. Being careful on it, and I like that. They've even split a player off in a boat, so really keeping check on the situation.
Just beware of the Alliance push. Here it comes. They are getting held back by the entirety of the Zacho balls.
These guys have been phenomenal at catching people on rotation routes, and you're seeing it again. They are very good at these positions. They've read the play very well, and the tags and the follow-ups are perfection. Viazi and Sigsy on the receiving end of this. Izaku Boars have done this consistently throughout day 1 and 2, and are seeing it again. And they're not alone in this. Alliance suffering at the hands of many. Confirmed kills coming in. That is not a championship Sunday you want to be seeing.
Sigsy, Reels, VZ, they're all down straight after 1.
Bloody hell.
T-Bone's going to just bail to the north. He's got nowhere else to run. Last man standing there for Alliance, unfortunately. I mean, this is wild. Seeing Alliance go down so early. It was FaZe, they're down to 2. Liquid, they're still chilling in the same position they were before. A little bit of a battle going on. Singularity's down to 1 player. Eleganton, I think, might be down. In fact, Eleganton still have 4, but they're completely split and spread across the map.
Oh, Larson, careful. You can see him overextending a little bit. There's a lot of teams over there. They've got a really nice position for now. I want to see that circle coming through, though. Again, shifting towards Lumbermill. Up towards the north slightly. Plays well for Liquid, plays well for Wizards. Knight still in a very good position.
So everyone's still starting to move, thinking, okay, boys, we can't sit at the bottom here and just chill.
Hello?
I think he's hit the tyrant, he's flying.
That could be a big problem here.
He's just throwing him off
the
the side.
You're just stuck there now, aren't you?
He's getting tagged up. Where's that actually coming from? Is that return fire? Ooh, it's it. He's going down for Method. That's Yuan Rogue straight at the top there. Still, Zacho Boss causing problems for various teams. And Dave the Crazy, he's down. Back to Zaki. They lose 1, unfortunately. We've actually just lost in the first team. Is that back to Zaki gone? I don't see them on the... No, so they've got 2. So I'm interested to see which teams actually just dropped. We'll probably get that up shortly. Robin.
The high ground here is so nice for the Zacho Boars. These guys are really picking up pace. They've been a bit of a kind of slow burner, but they've been a real nuisance to a lot of the bigger teams.
They're playing slightly different to everybody else, and the fact that they're actually sticking as a 4 and just walking as a 5. I've got confirmation it's Alliance. Wow, Alliance 20th place. That's a feels bad, man.
Yeah, and they were one of the teams coming into this that you were looking at to do well, and they have not really lived up to that. Now we are seeing Rogue applying a little bit of pressure towards, I think that possibly a Method in towards one of the Wizard Towers. It is, so eyes towards that. You've got the MK up in the hands of some of these Akubors as well, so that's going to be into play at some point. You've got a nice bit of range there, Mini as well, so sitting very nice on that. Not quite in the circle yet, but not too far to go, and they can be a nuisance to anyone late to this.
Jempty's just made it to Lumber Mill, and all of Liquid are just on the opposing side to him. About 100 meters difference, so he's dug his heels in. Hexeti will stay back. He'll be the insurance policy. He's probably still pissed at Trashed Up, to be honest, and wanting to confirm the kill on him because they might have just shattered their dreams here of Berlin. We'll see how it goes further afield. We've seen Hexeti clutch it up time and time again, just snake his way into the top 2.
I love this position between Knights and Liquid, though. I can't say it enough. You can see why these guys are towards the top of that table. This would be great for them to confirm a little bit more on the way. They are keeping players alive as well. Method need to be doing the same. Their position has been obviously very much noted. But again, it's Akubors. These guys, they are not sitting back in any means. They are very aggressive at this.
Everyone just going for the long range shots, try and pick up 15 a pop. It's going to get messy. The closer it gets towards the lumber mill, the more messy and scrappy it will be. All the trees, the line of sight, the bushes, the defilade, the smashed up woodwork on the floor. You can literally crawl your way through it. I mean, that's probably why Hexeti is staying back so fast on the back of the hill, because there's no one really who can see him. He'll be able to at least get range unless someone spots him at a redonkulous distance within 8 times, then he'll be happy for now. He'll be sat on some of the rocks that are down there, those little piles just on the side of the hill, tucked in behind, so they can chill, and they need to. With only 2 men and split apart, it's going to be 4 versus 1, 3 versus 1, no matter who they see. Further afield, generally speaking, everyone's inside the circle here. Red Zone are all the way at the top. They're going to play the late game Wizards, and in fact, WTSG do have to deal with a team. It's going to be Atlantis, Crazy Cage Man, and another one of his teammates there.
I think it's just
holding
him
that
left.
one back.
I think it's only one man for Atlantis right now.
Okay. Oh, he's downstairs.
Yeah,
right,
he could just be a pain in the arse, really, if anything. I think WTSG might be being... Oh, that circle! Okay, let's look at what's actually in this circle then, because of course you have Prison. You have the bit of the hill towards the west of Lumberyard, but beyond that, the terrain is very tricky. You still have the play of the shelter. You have a very open field with limited amounts towards the north. It's a bit of a hillside to it, but again, this is going to be very hard for Liquid to get to slide themselves back towards the position we saw them in earlier, kind of shifting back to that. Anyone who's on this south side is going to have a very tricky time working anywhere. There's not much before... What has happened to these Akubors?
It looks like they might have just fat-fingered it. Or they drove into a tree, drove off a cliff or something. But
Something's gone wrong.
2 of them do go down. Back from Zaki. They're eliminated. Second team to fall.
Oh, God, FaZe. Look at that. He's just bombed it in towards Prison. That's actually giving him a shot here because Liquid were already set up towards the top, so they're going to see that. In. Yeah, hide for your darn life. Do not go anywhere. Just stay as you are now. Grub laying down the fire towards the smoke. They know there's going to be players there, but the kill's coming on the other side. Penta struggling. Washout going to be confirming that. Copenhagen Flame still alive, but it's Larson for WTSG. Oh, that's good work from Washout. Meticulous play, clearing through that rock side. Very easy to get complacent and not check all those nooks and crannies where players can hide. But he does do it well. And Grub trying to find an angle. Not going to get one.
Grove, 4 players in play. I'm seeing 6 times. I'm seeing a Scar. I'm seeing a couple of SLRs as well. So they can do some damage at range here. Vard still, speaking of damage. Mazalius, he's confirmed kill. 50 points. Finds a second one. Position and 30 in the bag. 4 kills for WTSG. The slaughter continues for these boys. They have been playing fantastic the last 2 days. Honestly, we could be definitely seeing these in Berlin with another win. They might just confirm that. Jempty, Lone Ranger, chilling in the mist. Why not? Not a problem whatsoever.
It's 2 solos essentially for FaZe right now.
That's what you got to do.
Yeah, they're playing for late game. The problem is that it means the kills cannot come through to them like they wanted.
There is that.
And the teams that are in their way are playing very well. WTSG are racking up bodies. Liquid are in a good spot too. I want to see where Method currently are. They were still within the circle, I think. Deegs is doing another.
Flipped it.
In we go. That's...
You lucky.
Now, while the face place was there, yeah, there you go. You don't get away with it. Nice try, Deegs. Not going to happen.
But the thing is, though, they know he's there. Liquid have literally just watched it. I've just seen, excuse me, it was Ibiza who popped over the wall and were watching that bike. So that's now there, so he knows the player just chilling. They have that information.
Yeah, look at that southeast side by Lumberyard, though, Rich. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, potentially 5 teams all congregating towards that same position. And then if you want to include Method, they could be the gatekeepers. This is a very scary position. You've got Knights holding back Method, and then a huge cluster towards that southern side. Long range fight for Blank here, who of course are still within a good position. They want Sydney below FaZe, so they'd be wanting a good result for themselves.
So Method, they are inside the circle, as you just saw. Pittsburgh Knights, the split between two Harry Potter towers, so they can just rain hell upon them. They're going to have to go back out into the white, work the way around, potentially flank.
Look at this position. He's going to hear these steps. There's no way he hasn't.
Oh, he knows that they're 100%.
But what does he do about it? The thing is that they're being chased by a team. They need to work it out. VoDs found one. Nades keep coming through, but what about that one man's just taking his time? Is he going to try and stay alive? Is he trying to relay information? What can he do with this? Again, Method, hearing this go down, seeing the players. 8C.
Ow.
That was a very wide angle to hold the peak on. Gets really quite punished for that. You're not going to get away with it. And Blaze, he didn't see him. He just leaps over him. Oh my god, that's a disaster. He has to go on the reload, but he's got the time on the angle. He can get aggressive now. Catches them at the right timing. That is absolute destruction from him, playing it out so well.
It's like a second, looking for a third, but the taps are coming in the back. We'll see if he does survive any longer. Simplos down to a 1 versus 1. He might have wiped their chances of getting any further. Meanwhile, Chris, Andy, dead and gone, team captain. But Blaze, it didn't to be. Meanwhile, Hamster, we saw all of Copenhagen Flames. They were getting grenaded. They were being pushed back. They've heard this fight's gone down. Now it's time to make their move. 3 members of Method against 2 from Moonwolf. The team captain, Andy Pyro, dead early again. Really unfortunate for Andy so far, and that's going to be the M24 removed from Method for now, unless they can pick it up his body, of course.
Bigger picture is none of these guys are in the next circle either.
Right.
And there is the likes of Knights standing in their way, who are probably chomping at the bit for this. So this could be all for nothing, but it's a nice attempt. And well, 4 times on the mini, trying to get that to work. Nades starting to rain in, but this terrain is very tricky to work around. 8C's up for the fight. He already got kind of put on notice earlier.
I like this.
Let's see how far he takes this. You've got to be careful on this peak up because you can't do anything while you're auto climbing. So I think he's been spotted. Going to try and find maybe a new way around the terrain. He needs someone else for his team to get contact, which is what they're trying to do there. Nice play from Method. Really good synergy between the guys, reading the game plan well. But with only 3 seconds left, they need to consider how they're going to get that revive, get moving, and hope that no one else is there. Because look at the Copenhagen Flames. Look at the remainders of Grow Up. They are still very close by.
Executed beautifully. Send it to up top. Flank 1. All right, you lose 1, you get initial knock. And all of a sudden he gets 2, so they get 30 points. They have lost 1, unfortunately. Simplos goes down. Flames, they finally find the one man that was pre-grenaded and previously and holding them back. We are down to 13 teams, 35 alive. Flames versus Method. This could become a reality. Both teams inside the circle here, so they can chill for now, but my god, they're getting close. And look what Fever's got. That's the K9. It all comes down to what scope he's got on there. He's trading back to the AR, so he knows that someone's lingering on this hill. They'll be able to hear those shots as well. Let's not kind of, you know, beat around the bush this one. They know that fight's just beyond that hill. Yeah,
Pierbasta trying to make a mad dash for it. Chose to go towards prison. Did not go well between, I think it's Wizards out towards the western side and Liquid waiting. WTXG though, is this more kill potential here for them? They're just spawning up players. They've got to work their way a little further forward, and considering that Red Zone already hold a bit of the higher ground, this could be a problem, you know, a real issue actually for Larson. Trying to bait out a little bit. Oh, that's great. Miraku even joined in on that to help it out, but that's a big pickup in kills. And Blank being denied is huge. Another team that was trying to push towards the top. They were just behind FaZe in the previous standings, but over towards the Flames. Everything is burning down around them. Pony Rider and Fever, the last 2 alive, trying to peek the corner. You can't get it done. It's Method starting to come alive in this matchup, starting to get those scrappy, heavy battles that they know they're good at. But Fever now prone down. The timing could be awful for him. Peeks the corner. The nade! It's so good!
They're all dead. They're dead. They're gone. They're wiped. He killed them all. Jesus Christ! That's a 3 for 1 with that one nade. And he can get his teammates, so he at least can he actually get the back one up? He's still crawling. He's going to be really, really slow. They might take a look. No, he's dead. He's gone. So he needs to run there, but he can pick up all this ammunition. He just completely wiped out Method on his own. Jeans falls. Bigger pictures. Talk about this one. Pig gut now. That takes them out and removes it. So this fight will be going on. This helps out FaZe. They're inside the circle as well. Gempty's there. Looking up. This is the big fight, though.
Aras has no cover here. He's depending solely on shooting then to keep them away from peeking that angle. But Liquid are under pressure. They are in a little bit of trouble here. And Wizards are enjoying that. But they've got a problem with Grow Up behind them. Now, this is when you kind of hope in your mind that you don't join in on these fights. But actually, Wizards are landing the shot. So why not keep going? Hyper finding one and confirming one. That's good work from them.
This becomes massively problematic for Liquid. They need to swing this wide, potentially come smack bang in on the north. they can't enter on the west. They might even struggle on the north. They're going for the vehicle, he can't get out, but that it's a smoking gun right now.
And how'd you get away from there as well? You are in real troubles. You've got to have 3 players now starting to pressure towards Wizards. They know this as well. They don't need me to tell it, but the problem is they have no high ground to sweep down from. Wizards hold a lot of the cards. Look at these positions from Wizards. Holding the line. Very good work. Samty, though, creates space. Excellent play from him. Nades now start raining in, and you start working at the back of it. Fever in the back lines. He's still doing damage for Flames, but let's keep on this one as he just got a bit of an issue coming in, but look at the nades landing. They are not missing on this, and now it's their chance to push up, keep the pressure building. Liquid know what they have to do to get towards these new safe positions. They know it's a literal uphill struggle, and Wizards almost stopped them. And Wizards still might. They have the 2 players in the higher ground who are looking for those angles. They're desperate to find them.
However, they have made some ground here. This is what Liquid's become so good at. Rather than just sitting back and pussyfooting around, they will move up, they will take a fight, they will eliminate a team and take the better position. But as you say, it's still an uphill battle. They've got 2 to deal with. And yet, we've still got to see Hexeti make his mark. I mean, he's going to make a move here. He might be able to come up behind them and really cause a lot of problems here. Ibi onto 1. Does get the elimination of the 2 knocks on the side.
Oh,
Fever's down, but he did get up Pony Rider. That's huge. That keeps them in the game for now.
But these trees aren't great. If you split beyond just, if it's not just a 1v1, if it's a 2v1, that tree does not give you enough cover to hide you away from 2 players. So Fever does get confirmed dead by a nade, but Scoom in the back line is actually being found by Pickgut. That's what we were discussing, the high ground advantage that was sitting with the rest of Wizards. Now I'm wondering how much cover Scoom has to play off, but again, this is going to be tricky. Hexeti is still okay. I don't know how he's
made it up, but he has.
He might just be sat on the side. Gover's been spotted. That's big for Liquid. They're trying to make a bit of a mad dash for it. If he might just make it over towards Scoom. They are desperate to keep 4 players alive. Playing towards the smoke. Gover's been tagged up, taken down. It's WTSG in the back lines.
And all of a sudden, Celis, he moves up onto Liquid as well. So, Samty's dead and gone. See you later, my friend. Liquid, they do lose 1, and now the third party comes into effect. Hexeti just behind Pickgut, Larson. They also see 2 teams in front of them. This is getting messy. This is a battle for the northern circle.
He's right next to a player here. He's going to hear everything that's going on. Spots him, doesn't take the shot just yet. That's Drayden. There's literally a man above him right now. He's playing it so carefully, so cautiously, and Jemty, he executes one, but he needs to confirm the kill. No, he's going to go around. Does he find another? He sprays, he can't do it. Tex is too quick on the trigger, and Drayden does confirm. This is worrying signs for FaZe. I think they might still have 1 alive.
Oh,
maybe not at this point.
He's right next to him.
No, Hexeti is still alive. He is still there in the back lines. Knights have a bit of the circle, but it's certainly not safe by any means. Liquid still battling up, but Red Zone starting to heat up here. Scoom's been isolated, and Celis might get a little tunnel visioned on Scoom and not realize the other 2 players are already further up the hill. Firing up like this, yeah, it might get you Scoom, but you're probably going to be traded on. You've got to hope the other players come out and support him. Celis finds Scoom, but can you confirm that kill? No, there's Jeems. That's what I'm saying. You get that support system, you get the good positioning, but in the back lines, in the background, on the kill feed, you still have WTSG. They are lighting this up.
Jeems steps up, puts a bullet between his brain, and he's dead. Red Zone are gone. Look at Hexeti and Pickgut. They are, in fact, it's a 3-way over here. We also have Pony Rider. Single players, 3 teams. Essentially 3 kills, and we just lose them instantly just like that. Especially when there's only 6 alive here. 13 players individually. Hexeti clutches it. He moves up a position. But now you've got Pony Rider above him. You've got Liquid there. Knights are there as well. They're in the... Oh, well, they're not in the center, but they can gatekeep like a bad man.
Surely, this is...
Okay, so the way Hexeti and FaZe do well here is if the Knights just start battering Liquid. It's as simple as that.
Jeems!
How are you alive?
Not for long, that's how. Voxic does find him. Confirmed kill goes to WTSG. And as you said, that third-party system might just be saving FaZe for another position. If he can capitalize on this, maybe find 1 and then leave the other to be found as well, this could be great for him. Pony Rider's gone. We're into the top 4 here. Knights still in a phenomenal position. They were second overall. And yeah, Hexeti has gone down. This is Knights looking dominant here. 5 kills for them. And it looks like there's going to be more soon. Liquid limping into position, trying to get there, but with 3 teams alive. And the vast majority being within that top 2. It is not looking good for Liquid here.
Look at all these grenades. Will anyone make a mark? No, they will not. 3 versus 4.
The angle, it's so good for Knights right now. 4 alive, they've split the circle really well. You got 1 north, 1 south, 2 in the main body. And you can see the southern swing from WTSG, but they're going to be gate kept out unless he hits a really clean shot, which could be the case. Right now, Vard tries to lock down a position, tries to hold some sort of line. I like the aggression from both sides, trying to split it right down the middle. Texas gets a spot, gets a tag, but no frag to be seen just yet. As Vard spots 1, sprays in, hopes for the best, but no, the angle's not good enough. Drayden's still alive.
And I've absolutely no idea how. He needs to back off. He does have Maraku behind him, but he's getting tagged up as well. The smokes will go down for WTSG. They have to be careful here. They are down by a man. Larsa wants to try and equal this one up, which he does. He'll get the kill or get the confirmation. 15 points. Now it's a 3 versus 3. Where the rest of his teammates?
That's the next thing. Is can Larson stay alive even just a little bit longer? Can he just be a nuisance for a little bit longer? No. Voxic finds him real quick. That's great play from Knights to even it back up again. Advantage kind of swings to their favor. Considering Circle as well, it means that the other side, WTSG has to push towards them. Drayden should hold the line. Be careful of where his team currently aren't sitting. The smoke wall goes up, but Vard is still into this. Miraku still alive. These guys have been racking up bodies, but Miraku receives a tag. They've been spotted out. Miraku goes down. It's down to one man standing. It's just Vard right now.
He'll get the call to come through, and they're looking for more. The sprays are in the smoke, and he's just trying to hide. 3 versus 1. What can you do? More than likely, not a lot. This would take an absolutely formidable set of aiming right now. He will tap away to try and keep them at bay, but the tags are there. Can he see any more points? He gets one. He might just want to try and go for the knock, claim the points at least.
That's it. You can see him considering it. There it is. Confirm some more points, doing what he can. The smoke still might play well for him here. The circle is not favorable to him, keep in mind. So that's something he can't really do, but he does have his teammates trying to spot for him. Good tag from Voxic. You can see him playing this so carefully, so cautiously. Going to try and get the heal off, see what he can do here, Vard. Best of luck to you, buddy. The moment you step out, you know you're in trouble. That 416 is still very accurate, and it is going to be running the gauntlet as best he can, but it's confirmed by the Knights, who were sat in second at the start of this matchup, and they might just be pushing further.
Well, your top 3 doing the same old, same old. Knights, WTSG, and Liquid. Fantastic work from them. In the back foot, though, 4th place finish, once again, it is from FaZe. They did manage to stay alive for a little bit longer, but honestly, 4th place, all right, it's good, but with the teams above them doing so well, it's probably not enough.
I'm sure the desk can break that down in detail for us. James, what are your thoughts on that matchup?
Well, talk about consistency there as we see the Knights being able to take themselves a chicken dinner. But again, number 1, 2, 3, and 4 are currently number 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the standings here, with all of these guys playing out of their minds, so super consistent and really showing that not only Berlin is super important, but also the prize money here very important as well. A team here absolutely wants to be the Europe champions, never mind going to Berlin.
Yeah, I mean, for the sake of excitement, you kind of wanted to see the top 3 not get top 3 going into this game. But for the sake of like just knowing these guys are going to go forward most likely and represent EU in such a resounding manner. I mean, these guys came in, they played their game, and it was not an easy push. Liquid, you know, we were joking around in the green room about how it takes 6 miles for Liquid to move 5 feet because everybody's in their way, and they've got to kind of like weave their way to get to the circle that's just in front of them. But they fought through. They got 3rd place against overwhelming odds. I mean, I think even Haxetti was following behind them, waiting for his chance to try to pick them off. And to still see these guys at 3, 2, 1 is just phenomenal.
Another thing I think is very interesting with this is Liquid chose to take the western side, the eastern side of the prison area where they usually play. So they kind of deny FaZe that point because FaZe knows, or Liquid knows that FaZe wants to go there, and FaZe went to the compound. They usually do a 2-2 split with the compound and the east side rock hill around the prison. And
doing that, I think, made FaZe uncomfortable. Made FaZe rechange their rotation. They went down to the 2 compounds where, unfortunately, they ran into Singularity, and at first everybody thought this is a good thing. They got a couple of kills. They ended up getting 3 of the players right here, and then T-Dove gets the double kill. They should have had him. They advanced on 2 on the corner. They did a hard, like, little peek instead of 1 wide peek and 1 short, and hitting him from 2 angles, and he was just able to draw that spray pattern from one to the other.
They took 3 people down from Singularity to begin with, but then T-Dove obviously playing as the spoiler there for the detriment of a lot of FaZe fans out there. Overconfidence? What does it boil down to?
Well, it's not like he snuck up on him. I mean, he threw a grenade through the window. They knew exactly where he was based on that trajectory. So it was literally 1v2 corner play, and FaZe just dropped the ball.
Very unfortunate for FaZe, but also a misplay. When you peek a corner, you usually send the first guy very wide because then he follows, he transfers onto that target. Then the next guy goes on a corner peek, gets him down, finish him off, and then you can probably get the knock up after the revive, or get the revive off.
The only way you get 2 is if you do a transfer pattern. And the way that especially the AK works is what might beat you is the farther you go through that pattern, the more insane the jump gets, right? So getting those 2 or 3 extra shots on the track back is an easy win for a 2-person team. In this case, 1 came low and 1 came high, and the pattern track was just an easy draw right up, and he took them all down. So take nothing away from Trash Dove, and I think he may even felt bad about it for a second, because he stopped after the first execution, and like he was either gloating or feeling bad because he did the slow reload. He looked at him and he just executed. And I think he knows, like when this happened, this could be the lynch or the final nail in FaZe's ability to advance.
Right. Well, I mean, then we saw FaZe having to send Gemty to the middle. He was going to be snaking for a while. He was the only person actually in the middle for a long time during that. We saw a lot of edge play towards those final circles. What was it? Is it because of the terrain that they were in, or is it kind of cautiousness? What do you attribute it to, Avenger?
So when FaZe goes from 4 to 2 players, they go into salvage mode. And also extremely extreme salvage mode here. They send Haxetti into the prison, and then Gemty goes snaking. Gemty's extremely good at snaking. Unfortunately, the circle went north and north again, forcing Knights to push onto him, and he was stuck on the rock basically, and then he didn't get the finish off them either.
I mean, they got what they wanted. They wanted to make sure they got into the top 5. That's where that split and snake went. And yes, Gemty got stuck surrounded by Knights, and there's only so much you can do when the Knights surround you. He did his best to stop them, hurt them, took away some resources, but it wasn't enough. But Haxetti, inside his super sweet motorcycle trick down into prison, and then his ability to get that fun kill as well. And then he just sort of played very slow, followed, got them to 4th place, and what that does is it keeps FaZe in it. But what FaZe is going to have to go absolutely crazy in the next game if they want to win this. Like, they need to get in their cars and drive straight to the Knight drop spot and get a little bit of vengeance in the next game, I think.
But the Knights getting themselves the chicken dinner, you know, it's difficult to deal with the Knights once they've found themselves a good position there. They wanted a shrubbery. They took that shrubbery. Well done, Knights. But overall, looking at the consistency that these guys have brought out, them and WTSG, it's been a brilliant, brilliant series for them.
Knights is consistent. They're playing more aggressive. They're winning games. But holy cow. Welcome to South George. Welcome to the future champions, okay? Because 16 kills in 2nd place. This was not their circle. Sure, some could say they got here because they got 4 circles yesterday, and that was wonderful. And they got 1 to start the day today, and that's great. But you know what? This is the worst circle for them. They came into the Knights' house. They came into FaZe's house, and they still got 2nd, and they killed all the way there. So these guys have proven to me in this game that they are as good as we think they are.
Well, we can talk about it more in just a little bit here after the break. But before we do that, of course, we need to go and hear from the winners from our previous game, of course, Knights with Dan.
Thank you very much, James. So, Vox, we're here again, and Knights yet again showing that consistency. I mean, where does this consistency come from? What is it that makes your team so consistent?
I mean, we've been a team here from the start, so we really know all the ropes of the game, and we're confident in all our plays. So that's probably it.
I mean, you're oozing confidence, and you can tell by the way that we see you rotate around the map. But rotations didn't go particularly well at first in that game. What happened there?
So we were stopping to scout, and we ended up getting shot, so I had to leave Texas behind, as we only had 1 bike. But it ended up working out for us because the zone actually flipped onto him where he was stuck, and we had a free rotate back.
So a nice little cheeky way of getting into the end game there by having someone behind. That must be a really nice feeling when something doesn't go wrong, but then the game just goes back into your favor, surely.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's the best.
And FaZe are coming up. We've seen them. They're in 4th place now, or maybe 5th. We haven't seen their standings, but they are right behind you, clipping at your heels. You a little bit worried?
Yeah, FaZe is definitely a strong team, and they are known for their last day performances. So as long as we play our game, I think it'll be fine.
Final question. Are you going to Berlin?
Yes, we are.
Good answer. I like it. Right, congratulations. Best of luck in the next games. Right, we are going to go to a short break, but when we come back, we will be starting the penultimate game here at PGI 2018 EU Qualifier. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back very shortly.